You did not wake up to an alarm this morning, not because it failed, not because your phone died in the night, because somewhere along the way you stopped needing one. You opened your eyes at 7:18, not in a panic, not already reaching for your phone, not calculating how many minutes you had before traffic turned your morning into a race. You just lay there for a moment, listening to the quiet in the room, the kind of quiet that used to belong only to Sundays, sick days, and the rare mornings when work had not yet found you. Outside, the world was already moving, cars were pulling out of driveways, apartment doors were closing, coffee cups were being carried into elevators, your friends were checking calendars, answering messages, fixing collars in bathroom mirrors, walking into offices where they were still trying to prove they deserved to be there. And you were standing barefoot in your kitchen, making coffee slowly. You are 35 years old, you are retired, and that sentence still feels strange in your mouth because people hear retired and they imagine something soft. They imagine beaches, luck, luxury, maybe some secret number you do not talk about. They imagine you escaped through a door they never saw. They imagine there must have been a shortcut somewhere, some inheritance, some perfect investment, some once-in-a-lifetime move that made the whole thing easier than it looks. There was not. There was a paycheck, there was a bank account, there was a number that did not grow fast enough. There were friends buying cars, booking trips, upgrading apartments, starting careers, building lives that looked completely normal from the outside. And there was you sitting at a small desk at 27 years old, staring at your own life in numbers for the first time and realizing something that made your stomach tighten. If you kept going the way everyone else was going, you would get what everyone else was getting. A better title, a bigger salary, a nicer apartment, a calendar full of things you did not choose, and maybe, if everything went well, freedom at 65. That was the moment something shifted, not loudly, not dramatically, no grand speech, no sudden transformation, no perfect plan written on a whiteboard, just one uncomfortable question that would not leave you alone. What if the real goal was not to look successful? What if the real goal was to own your time before your best years were gone? That question changed the way you saw everything. A new car was no longer just a car. It was months of your future. A bigger apartment was no longer just comfort. It was distance between you and freedom. A promotion was not automatically progress. A weekend out was not just a weekend out. Every choice became a trade. Every dollar had a second meaning. Every yes had a cost hiding underneath it. And for years, almost nobody noticed. They saw you driving the same car. They saw you living in the smaller place. They saw you ordering water, cooking at home, saying no to plans you could technically afford. They thought you were being careful, maybe too careful, maybe boring, maybe missing out, but you were not missing out. You were buying something they could not see yet. You were buying mornings, you were buying silence, you were buying the right to wake up at 35 with no meeting to attend, no manager to impress, no inbox deciding the shape of your day. You were buying the ability to stand at your window with coffee in your hand while the rest of the street moved like a machine, and to feel for the first time in your adult life that the day belonged to you. But this is not just a story about money. Money is only the visible part. This is a story about pressure, about choice, about the strange loneliness of walking away from the default path while everyone you love is still on it. It is about what you give up, what you keep, what changes, and what follows you even after the job is gone, because retiring at 35 does not mean life becomes perfect. It means the noise gets quiet enough for you to finally hear yourself. And once that happens, you have to answer a much harder question than how much money you need. You have to ask what you are going to do with a life that finally belongs to you outside. Life is moving fast, people chasing meetings, deadlines and promotions. But you are calm. Not because it was easy, but because years ago you chose a different path. While others said yes to everything, you said no more often. Every choice built this moment. And now time feels like yours again, slow, open, and full of possibility. Everything changes when you finally own your time at this age. Truly, POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They are waking up to alarms, rushing into traffic, chasing deadlines that never end. And you wake up slow, calm, without pressure, without noise. Not because life became lucky overnight, but because years ago you made hard choices when others chose comfort. You said no when everyone else said yes. You gave up short pleasure for long freedom. Now your mornings feel different, light, open, alive. There is no boss, no schedule owning you anymore. Fully yours, finally. And that changes everything you believed about life. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They are running behind schedules, meetings, deadlines, chasing success step by step. And you are not. You wake up slowly, peacefully, without an alarm pulling your soul. This did not happen by chance. It came from years of choosing discipline over comfort and freedom over instant pleasure. While others spent, you saved. While others said yes, you learned to say no. Now your life feels open, light, and free. Every morning belongs to you. Every hour is yours. And that changes how everything feels inside you deeply. V. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They wake up to alarms, rush into work, and chase a life that never slows down. But you wake up in silence, calm and free, without anything pulling you back. This is not luck, but years of hard choices no one else wanted to make. Every no built this moment of freedom you now live every single day. And now life feels open, light, and truly yours in a way you never imagined. This is the moment everything changes, when time finally belongs to you completely. Now, POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. You wake up without an alarm, no rush, no stress, just quiet morning air around you. Outside, life is already moving fast, people chasing jobs, deadlines, and plans that never stop. But you are still calm and free. This did not happen in one moment. It came from years of small decisions, saying no when others said yes, choosing discipline when comfort was easier. Now your mornings feel open and light. Every hour belongs to you in a way you once only imagined in silence. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They wake up to alarms, rush into traffic, and step into a world full of pressure and timing. You wake up slow without noise or urgency. You make coffee at your own pace, watching a life you are no longer controlled by. But this was never accidental. It was built slowly through years of restraint, patience, and focus when nothing felt exciting in the moment. Now that effort returns as calm days, open time, and a life that finally moves only when you decide. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They are still inside the race, building resumes, chasing promotions, trying to move forward step by step. You are no longer part of that rush. You stand outside it, watching life with a different kind of clarity. But getting here was not easy or fast. It meant choosing long-term goals over short rewards and staying consistent when results were invisible. Now everything feels lighter. Your time is no longer divided by demands, and every day starts with a sense of space you once never had. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They are caught in schedules, meetings, messages, and constant pressure to keep moving. You are not inside that system anymore. Your time does not belong to anyone else. You choose how the day begins and how it unfolds. But this freedom was built quietly through years of saving more than you spent, resisting impulse, and thinking long when others thought short. Now life feels slower in the best way, when nothing is forcing your hand and everything starts from your own decision. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. And sometimes you remember the version of yourself who was still inside that cycle, waking up tired and repeating the same pattern every day without question. Now things are different. There is no rush pulling you forward, no pressure shaping your hours. You move at your own pace, with space to think clearly and live without constant noise. What changed most is not just what you gained, but what slowly disappeared from your life over time, leaving behind something quieter, simpler, and fully under your control. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They wake up to alarms, rushing into traffic, stepping into another day that feels heavy before it even begins. But your morning is different. You open your eyes without pressure, without noise, without urgency. You move slowly, calmly, making coffee while the world outside keeps running fast. This freedom was not a gift. It was built through years of discipline, patience, and quiet sacrifices no one saw. Now your life feels open and light, where every hour belongs to you and nothing controls your pace anymore. POV. You retired at 35 while your friends are just starting their careers. They are still inside the system, chasing promotions, deadlines, and expectations that never stop growing. You are outside that race now. You wake up without a schedule forcing you forward. The